It is 2015, a new year, a new lobby simulator, and we're going to launch in before Marshall is here. So, what's that, Quitch? Yep, what? Oh, leave him for dead? Yep, okay, we'll leave him for dead. And we're going to go on. Marshall's gone. Forget about Marshall. This is a new era of blue versus blue. Let's hope the colours are not too similar on the stream. So, it's just like Cult System, except it's a metal planet instead of... I don't think I can talk.
No, you can't. What did I miss? I see McClussist in chat saying, poor me. What have you said?
I said, Quitch told me to leave you for dead and that he was gone and I had to forget about you.
Oh. But I like my bomb. Bomb's good.
Yeah, I don't think it's these guys' fault. There seems to be some glitch where it actually turns up as different colours once they log into the game. That's unfortunate. We were going to keep all the teams the same colours throughout the tournament, so there wouldn't be much confusion, but this is the way it's turned out. Okay, let's do an intro. When Marshall stops making some noise, maybe. You know. Take your time, Marshall. Eat your scone. Tap your keyboard a bit, you know. Don't rush. Have you got some tea to slurp, maybe?
Yeah, it backfired, didn't it?
It sure did, Marshall. Fuck yourself. Oh my god. Okay, stop. Continue. Hello and welcome everybody, my name is ZaphodX and I'm joined here by Marshall.
Hello everyone.
And we are here with Clan Wars presented by eSports.com. Here we go, spawning in from the two teams. We're playing on PAG's home system. This is Team PAG, the Planetary Annihilation Gods, versus Team Burning, BRN.
Yes. And it's an interesting spawns because they've decided to go 2 and 2 and 2 and 1-1 from Burning. So PAG spawning together like this is unusual for them because they like to go for 1v1s.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see what strats they go for here.
Yeah, I think both teams are in an okay situation actually. If we look at Burning, they may have two players that have spawned alone, but they're actually quite close. I mean, there's small, narrow obstructions to get to each other, but in terms of distance, they're quite close. So they should be able to support each other quite well, because they could be attacked from the left and the right by those PAG players. Now, big advantage, I think, for Burn is they're split up across the whole planet, right? They have two players on the southern hemisphere, which means they can probably take that southern hemisphere quite easily. And then they have two players in the middle and towards the north, so they can contest the northern side and overall have the potential for more map control.
Well, I don't know. The thing with a metal planet this size is that to expand to the point that you have control of the whole southern hemisphere, that's going to take a long time. And most fights tend to take place along the, as the crow flies, shortest line of distance sort of thing. So, I don't know. I still think this planet is really big to just call, oh, let's just control the southern hemisphere. I think it's just a little bit too big for that. But we'll have to see, because it looks as though PAG are going more vehicles, whereas Burning are going docks. So I don't know, I think it's going to be slightly more dynamic.
Yeah, the two northern players going docks. The southern players, however, going for some vehicles with one docks factory. So we'll see what they do there. Doing some intel, pings are going out. They've seen a couple of the players now. Let's take a look at Burning's point of view. And they see the build-up of one base. So I think they probably only think there's one commander there. They'll do a little bit more scouting intel. And they've now seen the second commander. They know there's a second base there, for sure. So they know where two of the people are, and they're going around the northern hemisphere.
Just about to find the other one.
Yeah. So great work scouting. Very surprising to see no scouting from PAG at this stage. But they have now seen both commanders. I'm pretty sure they'll have noticed them. And they're now aware of exactly where the opponents are. And realistically, they don't have much map control early on. So if they really work hard to take the map control and hem them in, I think they could do a good job and limit their medal income.
What PAG are doing, though, they're getting radar in the trenches.
Oh, yeah. We've seen them do this before. It's a really great strategy. It's really hard to target that that radar. I think you can actually build it underneath the bridge as well. I think you can place it underneath. It's just a little difficult to place it, but it can be done, which makes it even harder to target.
I mean, they're getting dangerously close to the interceptors, and down it goes, so that radar there wasn't going to get taken out. But this is PAG's home system, so do they necessarily need scouting immediately to know where the spawns are? Excuse me.
Exactly.
I don't think so. I think they know where the spawns are. What they do need scouting for, though, is for the unit compositions and the base build-up.
Yeah, I totally agree. They almost certainly know where the spawns actually are, even though they may actually be so unprepared they have no idea where the spawns are. But I think you're right. They need to know the unit composition, right? They need to know how many tanks, how many bots, how many air factories have been built, whether they're going for anything really funky like some orbital. They need that intel, and right now, it's just a startling lack of intel from PAG.
Yeah, it's really interesting because they are, well, as we said before, 1v1 players. But I don't know, they're getting up radar, which is okay. I think they're playing more defensive, which is very surprising for me. I find radar to be a more defensive and passive form of intel than actively scouting.
Yeah.
It's
a
very
forewarning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's certainly not characteristic of the PAG players.
But we're still seeing a lot of docks from the northern burning players, and I'm not sure whether that'll work out for them, because, early game obviously it's strong, but once you start getting enough tanks in large enough groups, the docks just can't do anything. Not even a chance. PAG coming in for an attack here with a really decent amount of forces and not actually much to stop them from burning, and more reinforcements that could potentially be coming in from the base behind them. And they're going to come in here. There's no turrets, there's no walls, there's one commander. We do see one bomber, but there's anti-air in there, so they've got nothing to worry about.
What they need to do now is follow that up with maybe an air fabricator and get a teleporter, and then you can have a consistent stream of units coming in.
I am really shocked here. This doesn't actually look like PAG. They're not playing like PAG at all. They're playing very slow, very cautious, whereas PAG is usually quite aggressive, expansionist. And
I think
they're getting anti-air in
for burning to overextend themselves, perhaps.
Maybe.
Although that would be quite silly on a map with such dense metal everywhere.
Both teams on about 750 to 800 metal, not really much between them. Bombers coming in as reinforcements for this northern burning player. They're going to come in. They're going to lose a lot of the bombers to the anti-air. Fighters also coming in to help defend. They do destroy a lot of the units, but they lost a lot of bombers for that. Probably a relatively even confrontation. And now exchanging fighters.
And the teleporter goes up. That commander is maybe going to try and attempt to escape. Or, no, never mind.
I think he'll hang around
from another base. Yeah,
I think he'll hang around. Get some unit support.
There's not enough of a threat there to warrant a commander escape on second thoughts.
So the southern players obviously have a load of units spare right now. It makes sense for them to be doing that. And the game is really beginning to change. After a very turtly start from PAG, I think they have enough eco now, and they're expanding now. They can start ramping up their production, and they're just beginning to move all their units all over the place, making a pretty big move towards the south side. Already occupying that northern player, but making a big move towards the south as those units streaming through. Bombers coming in here, but there's so many anti-air in there.
Oh, but they're all in one line, and they all go down. Oh, wow, that was painful to watch. That was just unfortunate diagonal positioning there of those spinners, and the entire force is going to go down now. Not enough intercept. What is surprising me, though, is the lack of emphasis on air. Normally PAG do love air. We have a ton of air factories here, but I feel as though those are relatively new.
Yeah, they are. I totally agree. I'm a little shocked to see all the anti-air in the group of tanks, because typically PAG only build large amounts of tanks and use their fighters to protect them, but they're actually investing in a lot of anti-air here. I think it's paying off for them in this circumstance, because those slow-moving tanks, if you want to have support with them, it's useful, but it's not characteristic of PAG's playstyle.
And the other problem that PAG will probably start to be noticing is the build-up of bombers. That's a lot of bombers. They do have a ton of interceptors now moving in. Oh my goodness. Ouch. All of those bombers go down on the south side there. Keeping them very tightly
matched as well. Orbital radar goes down from burning. Actually quite important they remember to rebuild that. Because
Elladea loves to go orbital nuisance.
PAG doesn't tend to go orbital, but Elladea certainly doesn't mind getting out some orbital fabbers and reclaiming with some shenanigans.
Yes. PAG going T2 on the northern hemisphere there, T2 vehicles.
Good work. This will really push them ahead. Only one engineer working on that. It's only 40%. This is, again, very uncharacteristic. Like, kind of noob plays. It's so weird. Like, generally what PAG will do is they'll wait and they'll wait and they'll wait, and then they'll build it with 10 engineers very, very quickly. If they've been building with one engineer for several minutes, it's like they might as well have not bothered and then just got a lot of engineers to build it in one go. It's just really strange from PAG right now.
It's very odd, to say the least. But PAG have so many air factories. Just take a look at that ping there. Not PAG, sorry. Burning. Oh my goodness. That's impressive air production. Factory count sitting at 76 to 67 in favour of PAG.
PAG putting in some good work now, doing some raiding. Still very even in terms of eco. They haven't managed to pull ahead even with all this raiding they've been doing. But these tanks coming in towards the south are going to cause some damage. There's a lot of metal storage there as well.
Yeah, if they can take that out, that could potentially really hurt.
Oh, they're fighting over anti-air and they're getting hurt a lot. They lost a lot of their fighters there as well.
More
they're
bombers
losing
coming in.
a lot and more units coming in. PAG doing a great job of putting the pressure on here, and right now Burning was not ready for this.
Yeah, I think it was.
They've built a catapult. Isn't that the weirdest choice? Like a Hawkins would be quite nice at this stage.
Who, Burning or PAG?
Burning down at the south built a catapult here.
What?
The range is so small, and all they can do is slowly destroy T1 units one by one. It's not as powerful as a Hawkins when it comes to a group of units coming in and losing a lot of ground at the back for Burning. On the north side as well, they're taking heavy losses. Looking over at it, big group of tanks coming forwards from PAG and running over that northern player's base. And although Burning doing a great job of trying to keep up with the eco, they're beginning to fall behind.
They are indeed.
Let's look at the army tab as we see 92 factories for for PAG and 86 for Burn. So not actually too far behind in terms of production. Very far behind in terms of mobile forces. 760 to 260. That's 3 times as many. That's huge.
But they're still getting tons of factories out with advanced fabricators, so they'll be getting out quite quickly. They have got quite a large force coming in now, but they're getting out vehicle factories at long last. I think they're realising that airness might not necessarily do exactly what they want, with PAG now getting us just no real emphasis on bombers whatsoever, and just interceptors, and more interceptors.
Yeah, that's certainly something Eladea likes to do, is just go non-stop interceptors, make sure you control the air game, and then win with your ground game.
Yeah. He lost one wave of interceptors, and there's just a whole nother one ready to come in. It's just like, hey, I heard you liked interceptors. More bombers coming in as well, taking out a few tanks there. They're managing to hold on, Burning, but they're slowly getting whittled away because they just weren't expecting it. And they're going into orbital as well, which I find a bit odd given the circumstances.
See, they're going down to 900 eco. They've been chipped away, whereas PAG obviously just keep increasing their eco at 1400 now, so beginning to pull ahead. Yeah. Another important thing, though, is neither player is stalling their eco. They both have more metal that they could be spending right now, and an important part of having all this eco is spending all this eco.
Yeah. But there's just so many factories, and it looks as though with Burning going into orbit, I think they could be doing some interesting stuff. And with T2 out now from PAG as well, they're starting to work on levelers there. So maybe they can get up some more advanced factories, because they've got a few idle fabricators there that, well, are building T1 tanks out of T2 tank factory. What?
Yeah, so the other thing is, PAG is now finally up to T2. It actually took them a very long while to actually get up to it, but they're now up to it and can start using that T2 eco, building some more T2 factories, whereas Burning have actually been down at T2 for a long time. They've had their T2 bots down here.
Didn't manage to get out of a teleporter. Sorry to interrupt you there, but he's just surrounded by tanks. He tried to get out of a teleporter there, and he's going to go down.
Where? You didn't ping.
I pinged.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Okay. Let me look through Chronicam.
He was trying to get through a teleporter. He was surrounded by tanks, and the teleporter went down, and he was a sitting duck at that point. So that's that base gone, leaving the northern hemisphere empty.
Yep. So we lose that northern base from Burning. That's a pretty big loss. And looking at the eco right now, 800 to 1500, almost half as much. They are so far behind.
Yeah. Which is why I find going into orbital all the more perplexing. And, I mean, just referencing back to the beginning of the game there, how you were saying about getting control of the southern hemisphere, half of it is just empty because it's, not the shortest line of approach. And also because they were put on a lot of pressure, so they just wouldn't really have had the time to expand that way.
So one commander manages to escape out the middle and turn off the teleporter afterwards. You were saying you don't think orbital's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. Like, what else do they have? They can't win the air war because they don't have enough production and there's anti-air everywhere. They can't win the ground war because they're relatively even on the ground war. So take it to orbital. They've got to get some advantage in some arena, right? And they've got to guess that PAG probably just won't even build orbital, let alone orbital radar.
PAG are building orbital, and they've also got umbrellas up. So it's.
Eladea is hard carrying.
Yeah, it's not working out for Burning in the way that they wanted.
One of the commanders actually a little bit of risk here for PAG though. Units coming forwards.
They could take out a fair bit of power, but there's still quite a lot in the rest of the base, so it's not really going to do too much damage. This is where their lack of bombers really impedes PAG. They've only got 4 bombers or so in that group there, and there's no spinners there because Burning are just relying on interceptors. So there's quite a few tanks doing a fair bit of damage there.
We see a whole load of bombers just flying over anti-air, destroying these units. I wonder whether that was intentional. See, at this stage, I would be thinking as Burning, right, we're in trouble, we need snipe territory, which means you don't use your bombers to attack units, you use your bombers to snipe commanders, because that can get you somewhere.
And that's more than enough bombers to snipe commanders.
Yeah, definitely a single pass on a commander there, but now that they've lost more than half of them, not a chance.
It was such a shame.
To be fair though, there are so many fighters from PAG, it's going to be pretty hard to somehow get magically past all of these radars they've got and just get a sniper.
There's a commander here out in the open, I just pinged it for you.
He is, but there are a whole load of like air factories there, and I think it would get spotted by PAG. I think they'd notice.
Again, the side of the planet that isn't the shortest can often yield the best results.
The dark side of the planet just has nothing on it right now. Units streaming forwards to the South Pole from PAG and looking pretty grisly as they destroy the factories that lay in front of them. Fighters hovering over, controlling the air zone. Nothing really for Burning to do. They do have some sniper bots on the go.
That's absolutely nasty there.
Bombers coming north! Bombers coming north in towards the commander over here. I don't think they have enough to kill him. There's a couple of anti-air up there.
I think they have.
I reckon they don't. I reckon they don't. They're not going to kill him. You owe me £10.
I don't think so.
You owe me a scone.
Not if the commander's.
No, he won't make it. You owe me a scone.
Ooh,
fuck! Come on!
Sir, you owe me a scone.
Shut up! Whatever, you'll get your damn scone. You'll get your damn scone.
Oh, I'm so pleased I've won a scone out of this.
Whatever.
Wow, the salt is real.
Well, I think that's a saving grace for Team Burning. They'd obviously lost, they were overwhelmed, but they did get a commander kill out of it. I didn't think they'd get that. Whatever. It didn't look like it, because they didn't even have many for a first strike, but they managed to get through. I think that just shows that T1 bombers are unbelievably powerful.
They are quite powerful. Oh dear. Hashtag Marshall called it from Twitch. That is, yeah.
Well, PAG now running over the base with units and drowning out the sun with fighters.
Yeah, it's like a lawnmower watching those tanks. They're just gobbling anything up that's in their path.
Yeah.
They don't even need to micro, they just point and click, and they're just there. So, yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the GGs.
Yeah, pretty soon as the units funnel in here. One commander valiantly fighting next to these turrets. Not taking much damage at the moment, but these units are going to come through. Uber cannons coming off, trying to thin out the forces. More units coming through the base. Fighters are being destroyed as soon as they get built because the air units are focusing them as soon as they get off the ramp at the air factory. One commander here sitting on 15%, beginning to be focused from all sides. The tanks take him out.
Down he goes. Oh damn. What's the other commander doing with all of his stuff there? There's just so many interceptors just hovering over that. Whoa, okay.
Where's the commander? What's going on? Oh, here we go. We've got 2 commanders here.
Yeah.
2 commanders left. One of them about to be attacked by all these units. He's not getting out of this one. He's going to come forwards and fight to the death, though. Don't see an Uber cannon coming out yet. Where's that Uber cannon? There's a oh wow! He Uber cannoned a single tank, and there's a lovely little juicy target of a dozen there.
And there they go.
And he gets killed for it, and they're actually going to concede the game there.
Double command implosion.
So it's a weird game. PAG didn't play aggressive early on. They did loads of things which are not characteristic of them. But ultimately, they played pretty solid, didn't they? Because they after the early game, I think they really pushed for the advantage, and Burning just couldn't keep up.
It was certainly very interesting to watch, and it just shows that you don't need to rush in order to win on planets with such dense metal like this. Alright, so who are we going to talk to?
You're in charge of the interviews, Marshall. You get to choose.
Okay, let's talk to Klops. Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Top of the morning to you.
Ah, to be sure, to be sure.
Oh dear.
So, Klops, to focus on that game, it felt like I was watching a bunch of noobs. You guys weren't playing like how I'm used to you guys playing. What was up with that? Like, usually I'm used to you guys being so aggressive early on and expanding, and it seemed like early game for the first 8 minutes you did very little and you played super passive.
Yeah, I felt that the plan was to just build efficiently for as long as possible, and then we'll slowly get ahead. I think it's this type of map. It's not good to raid because by the time their units get to where you want to raid, you've built twice as much to the other side.
Yeah. And by the time you've raided them, they're already rebuilding other mechs in other areas, and they have a huge eco anyway. So raiding, it doesn't have a huge payoff, does it?
No, I don't think so on that kind of map. So we were just slowly building and slowly creeping forward into the middle, and then
I think that worked out for you because you did play so cautious, and you built up your units and you built up your production, and then all of a sudden, I'm looking at like 8 minutes in, you just started making big moves towards the south and big moves towards the northern base, and just you put constant pressure on with those units.
Yeah, that was the plan.
So it seemed really weird early on because you guys just seemed to be playing so passive, but it really worked out for you, as you say, with efficiently getting those units out and just dominating the ground game.
Yeah, there's a few. I think they built way too many bombers too.
Okay.
I don't think it's a clever move on
when
both teams are going to do it.
Another point is, I usually see you guys building a lot of tanks and using the fighters to protect them, but this game, you built a lot of ground anti-air. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, they attack the bombers now, don't they? They prioritize bombers, so it's
exactly,
and they're a lot more efficient, and you're dragging fighters all around the map, so it's better to just pick off to defend with the fighters a little bit.
So would you say you now favour the ground anti-air because they target the bombers now, so that the fighter protection is less powerful than it used to be?
Well, you still do need the fighters, but the ground AA is much stronger now.
Yeah.
Because once you could have 40 fighters and 10 bombers, and the 10 bombers are gone, and then you have nothing.
Exactly.
You have 40 units do nothing.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It certainly seemed quite good. Like, you always had the anti-air in the right places to protect them, and it's slow transition time with the tanks, right? So you want to make sure that you have the units to protect them once they come under threat from air units.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Good stuff. Well played. You win your points. Did you win your first game?
No, we didn't.
You didn't. So, unfortunately, drawing even today with a win and a loss. But congratulations for that win.
Thank you.
You won on your home system against Burning, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thanks.
Cheers, Klops.
Yeah, thank you. I think we're playing again now, are we?
I think you are playing again on your home system versus the Cult.
Yeah, cool.
So if you host that up, and we will see you soon.
Alright, see you then.
Right, should we speak to Mish?
Indeed. Incoming. Oh.
Put him in the wrong place. Hey Mish, how's it going?
Hey guys.
So,
How's that?
let's talk.
How's that for some fun?
Well, was it fun for you? Was it as good for you as it was
shit,
for me?
Yeah. Shit yeah, man. That last turn, hell, we had some blazing glory going on right there, man.
You did get a kill.
Yeah, mate.
And as a result of that kill, I owe Marshall a scone, so silver lining.
I like that.
I didn't think you'd make it. You had like no bombers and they had anti-air and somehow it just...
We were 50-50 on that, weren't we? We were like, what the hell, what have we got to lose, eh?
I think it was worth it, going for the commander kill. And,
Definitely.
And saving your honour a little.
Very satisfying.
So, we spoke to Klops and kind of pinpointed what their strategy was and why we thought that they managed to win out. What do you think happened? How did they just overwhelm you?
Well, to be honest, we didn't have high hopes going into the game.
Right.
I guess we didn't really have a strategy in mind when we began the game. Aside from the usual, you know, someone gets an energy storage, bloody blah, stuff like that. We didn't really pick up on the fact that they went all tanks. I think they had much better unit compositions than us.
Yeah, their anti-airs also made it quite hard for you to use your bombers to try and defend.
Oh yeah.
And it was interesting. We thought PAG were playing really weird early game, and basically they went for the most efficient build they could, getting as many units as efficiently as possible, and not really worrying about expanding or raiding. And I think it was around 8 minutes they suddenly just started attacking with all those units that they'd managed to build, and it just seemed to work out really well for them.
Kind of wiped the floor a little bit, don't you reckon?
Yeah. And,
Yeah,
and
that was a
they
very
kept
good
the
strategy.
pressure on as well, was the most difficult bit. They put so much pressure on you didn't have time to like
Oh, yeah.
build up a couple of defences, get your production back up and bring the fight back to them.
Once they hit Dom Space in the North Pole, then they
Yeah.
had my one. Yeah, they just kept rolling through.
Yeah, as soon as you kind of lose one base, it sets you so far behind that they can end up
It's very true.
punishing you for it.
Yep. Had some very good ideas going straight into that, so it was a very well-deserved win for them.
Yeah. Well, you won on your system, they won on their system, so all's fair in love and war.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Yep.
So you take a win and loss away today, but thanks for the burning, guys. I know it is crazy o'clock for you right now, but thanks for turning up. It's great to have you guys here.
Not bad
at
for
the tournament.
5:30 in the morning, eh?
And you're doing well, yeah, performing so early in the morning.
Yep. No, this is really fun. I think we're pretty happy with what we've done today. So,
Well, you definitely
Good
had
games
some
around.
awesome games, so good stuff.
yep. Looking forward to the last fixture for Season 1 too.
Indeed. Good luck in your final fixture in Clan Wars.
Cheers, man.